Hello Aries, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aries is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Aries, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And the Magician, that's a pretty good way to start. Right? This could be so many different things that we definitely need some context here, right? But this is kind of, this is a card that's talking about your interface with the world, how you see the world, how you adapt to the world, how you're able to, take the lemons and make the lemon meringue pie or whatever you do with it, right? So we need some context around this card to see what we are doing. Oof. We're manifesting those peak experiences in life, right? This is that lemon meringue pie that you're making, okay? That's a very good card. 3 of Cups. We have the Tower. Yes, that's kind of what it is. How do we adapt to these sudden changes in life? And this is very important too, because the Tower represents abrupt change. The Death card is kind of that slow and gradual change, and then these are those peak experiences, those occurrences of novelty in our life, right? These are the ones that really take some work to adjust to, or to take advantage of, right? The way that we turn the challenges into opportunities, right? That's something that the Magician can do. So this is these abrupt things that happen in your life. These life-changing moments that seem like they hit us all at once, even if maybe they've been building up for a while or they're in a greater context. These are those kind of those peaks on that graph. Here's a 7 of Wands, Princess of Pentacles, very nice. A Prince of Cups, 6 of Wands. Now we're getting somewhere. We have 4, right? 7 into a 6 and a 2 of Cups. 2 of Cups, 2 of Swords. I think this is really, it is in a large part about how we're perceiving the world right now, right? Your interface. Are we seeing everything as being, dark and dismal and painful and unsuccessful? Or are we seeing everything as being, an opportunity, a challenge, right? Everything is being an opportunity for growth, a chance for us to really maximize our potential, maximize our experience of life. So I feel like we've got the 2s here because we're trying to see things a different way. And I think something recent has happened. Now let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. And yes, I do like to put Pamela's name first. Could just call it the Smith Tarot, I guess. Oh, I think this is the one right there. And we'll put our very own Kelly Kapoor right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, all right? But it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this program you feel like you know what that card is, I want you to put your prediction down in the comments somewhere, okay? Let's do it together. Let's make it interactive. Yeah, group exercise. We need to work our intuition, right? It's a muscle. We've got to keep using it, all right? Let's take a look around because I'm seeing just a couple of major arcana cards. Tower, Magician, right? Tower, Magician. The abrupt change, the kind of life-changing moments. And I like to say that the Death card is kind of like the line that goes like this, and then we have those Tower moments, right? But it's this constant flow of change. Our life is not ever stopped. It's always progressing forward. There's always movement, even if we don't feel like it. We feel it when there are those really huge, abrupt changes in life. So it could be that life goes on slow, It doesn't even feel like it's moving. And then suddenly, bam, we're hit with, these life-changing moments, the things that kind of turn us upside down, spin us around. And I feel that the magician is really able to navigate those kinds of experiences very well. The magician is the one that can adapt to any circumstance, can take whatever environment it finds itself in and can make a miracle out of it, right? I kind of liken this combination to an episode of that show, Chopped, right? And I've been talking about that show a lot lately because that's kind of what I'm into lately. But the magician will open up that basket, and if you haven't watched the show, go ahead and watch it. It's on, I think, Food Network or something. The magician will open up that basket and say, I've never seen any of this stuff before. That's all right. I'm going to make the best meal of my life. I'm going to wow these judges. I'm going to win the game, right? I feel like life is a lot like that. And sometimes we get these baskets that just seem like the worst basket we could ever get, right? Like, I really don't want this to happen right now, but here it is. So I think we could look at it as just a disaster, as a miserable moment, right? As this kind of a very negative tower moment. But I think the tower moments can be very, very good for us. They can be breakthroughs, right? It can be just the kind of change, just the kind of thing that we need at the moment. But it depends on how this magician is able to adapt and deal with this and take this situation as it is. And whatever the ingredients are here, it's going to make the most out of them. You know, on the typical magician cards, you will see someone with a wand, and then before them is a table with all of these materials, right? The wand, they have the cup, they have a sword, they have a disc, and maybe some other things on this craft table. And they'll have to figure out how to put all this stuff together, all of these building blocks, to create the reality that they want, okay? And I think the tower is really here to say you can't control these things. You don't know exactly what life is going to give you at every moment, right? Sometimes we think we do, and we've got this two of swords that kind of says, I'm going to accept this tower moment, right? If I can't control it, I'm going to just accept what it is and make the most of it. Now, the Four of Wands back here. The Four of Wands seems to be a couple of things. One, it's our idea of time. It's our idea of timing, really, right? And I'll tell you, these tower moments, the timing never seems to be right, okay? It's kind of when we're least expecting a tower moment. We're just getting used to the steady death card change energy, right? And then we get a tower moment. It's like, I really didn't want this right now. But that's not how the universe works, right? We can't predict that. We can't control that. So the Four of Wands, I think, is us kind of wanting things to be somewhat rhythmic and predictable. I know if I do all of these things, then this will happen. Okay, and then things will go along for a while, and then this will happen. This was Terence McKenna's, I forgot what he called it, but he made an algorithm based on the Jing that tried to predict novelty in the world, right? And I think he did a pretty good job. I don't claim to understand exactly how it works, but it's the idea that we can see the cycles and patterns of things, and so we know when these moments of novelty, we know when these tower moments are going to happen. In my experience, it doesn't work that way. We don't really. Sometimes we can. Maybe sometimes tarot or geomancy or other forms of divination can give us a clue about when we're going to experience some moments of major, novelty. These major tower moments. But either way, I think they come as a bit of a shock. That's why they're tower moments, right? They're unexpected, they're life-changing, and they really take some adaptation. So we have these cycles that we try to predict, and maybe we usually do a pretty good job, and then we get a tower moment, and the universe is trying to see what we're going to do, And so that the magician, I think, is a very important card to have with a tower. If I get a tower, I want a magician right there with me, right? This is the perfect combination. And we could just base the reading off of these two cards, but there are other factors in your life. The Four of Wands is one. The other fire cards are a factor, right? The water cards, 1, 2, 3 water cards, they're a factor. The air and the earth are not so much factors right now. The air, I think, is really your you're realizing that this is, it's not a black and white situation. We've got the two swords and they're crossed. And this says, I'm not here to judge or figure out or explain anything. I have to defer to that higher power, that crescent moon at the top of the card. I have to trust in this divine energy. I have to kind of accept the world. I have to accept my basket as I find it, right? You get the basket and you don't argue with the producers about, hey, I don't like these ingredients. Can we get something? I mean, maybe that happens behind the scenes. I don't know. But, in life, we can't really argue about it. We can, but what's the point, right? What's the point of really lamenting anything that happens in life, right? Maybe we could eventually have some kind of retrospection and introspection to find out, did I contribute to this tower moment? And if so, how can I maybe avoid doing that in the future or whatever? But in that moment, we get that tower. We can't sit there and try to debate with it or argue it away or, or think, oh, this is just the worst thing in the world, or this is the best thing in the world. Chances are it's going to be a mixture of both. All right. So the best thing for us to do is to quiet our mind down, which I think you're doing. That's why we don't see a lot of swords cards. The swords cards we have are the two, and the two is really this kind of idea of I'm at peace with it, right? This tower event that is happening in your life, I think either it already has or you're kind of in the middle of it now, right? I feel like you're kind of at peace with it. And it's not the best thing in the world. It's not the worst thing in the world. Maybe it feels like the worst thing. But we're kind of at peace with it. We're accepting it. We're just saying, there's no use arguing with it. I've just got to deal with it, right? And I think that's the right attitude, because what we're hoping to do is turn this into a Three of Cups. We think by having the right attitude, the right feeling about this thing, I can make this really, the best that it could possibly be. Now, maybe this basket on this game show has the worst ingredients. They're all just terribly disgusting and whatever, right? You're going to make the absolute best dish that you can with those ingredients. Three of Cups. This is abundance. This is a peak experience of joy, pleasure, love, right? This is a real blissful energy, right? This is a satisfaction. This is even a gratitude, right? It's maybe even a gratitude that I am even here and that I can try to be this magician and utilize these ingredients in the very best way. It's kind of saying, I have this terrible basket full of ingredients, but hey, I'm grateful to even be on the show or to even be a contestant here, And so this, I think, is really this feeling of appreciation and gratitude, but this is also us trying to make the absolute very best out of this, trying to turn this into a blessing. Okay, trying to turn it into a blessing. So it really does depend on our outlook and our interface with this thing. Okay, and I don't know exactly what it is. I feel like there's something to do with maybe family members. It could be a family situation that you're dealing with right now. I do know that it's very challenging, and sometimes it feels as if it's you against the world. Or maybe it's you against the other family members, or I don't know. I guess it could be a work thing, but I'm not really feeling that. It feels more of close, intimate energies. Okay, so it feels like a family thing, maybe close friends or something. But it kind of feels as if you're the odd one out, that you're the one that kind of is going against the status quo. That something has happened now, and it's really set you kind of, it's almost like it's pitted you against the others. Does that make sense? I don't know if it has something to do with gossip or some sort of deception going on or what exactly it is. Sometimes the magician has this energy that there's something going on that we don't know about. That there is something that's kind of happening like in the shadows, Things are not exactly what they seem. And I think we look at that in the first way that we talked about with this magician, and things are not what they seem. This seems like an absolute disaster, but I can still salvage this and make something real nice out of it, right? That's one way. The other way the magician manifests is saying that, look, there's a lot of these details, a lot of secret, handshakes and secret deals being made that maybe we're not all fully aware of yet. Okay. So I I think there's something like that going on, that there's hidden information, okay, that you either didn't know about until now, or maybe you still don't. Okay, that could be another reason why there is a lack of air cards here, because there's just not a lot of communication. The knowledge really isn't flowing. Sometimes the magician is here to say, there's more that I need to learn about what's going on here. And maybe we'll see a confirmation of that with our mystery card. Maybe that's air energy over here. Moving to the path of the serpent, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free. It doesn't cost anything. And leave a comment and let me know how you're doing. All right, I appreciate you. So, Princess of Pentacles. This is a card that says you've got everything that you need within you. This is your general energy. Okay, this is your ability to either pull all of the necessary resources out of yourself, or create the resources that you need. Okay, so there's really, there must be a feeling of, I just don't have what I need, or I can't do this on my own, or, you know, maybe even this kind of lack of confidence as I don't have what it takes. This is a difficult situation. The Princess of Pentacles is here to reinforce the idea that, no, you have everything that you need. If you don't have the resource, you can create it. You can go find it. You can secure it. Okay? In that way, it's kind of saying that all the raw materials are here in your environment. You just have to know kind of what trees to use and how to make rope and build a shelter and all that sort of thing, right? It reminds me of that show. What is it? Alone, I think. I think it's called Alone, right? The magician, right? One individual is just dropped into this situation, kind of like a game of Chopped, really. And, you know, nature is all around it, all around the contestant. Everything that they need is really there. There's water somewhere, there's food somewhere, there's shelter somewhere, there's medicine, there's ropes, there's tools, whatever. They just have to know through that magician energy how to do that, how to take this raw material that's all around us and create what we need. Okay? Now, I don't think this has anything to do with wilderness survival. Maybe it does. But it's that same kind of vibe, that same kind of attitude that says, I can do it. If I don't know how to do it, I'll learn how to do it. Right? If I don't have what I need, I'll make it, or I'll find it, or I'll get it somehow. Okay, there's a certain confidence with this that everything is here. I just have to find it and utilize it. Okay. We've got a prince and a princess here in the path of the serpent. So I wonder if this is, yes, a family thing. I wonder if it's something to do with a sibling. Because there is this older, not older, maybe slightly older, but a male energy. Feels like a brother, slightly older brother to you. And they're involved in this in some way. Their energy is in the position of the environment. Okay? So they're kind of outside you. And there's some sort of a tower moment that happened with them. I don't know if they got into some sort of trouble, or maybe they transitioned into spirit. I'm not really sure. Their energy is not coming through in that kind of detailed way, but it feels as if there is, in your energy, it feels that there's somebody right next to you, and it feels like there's this, well, it feels like there's a tower between the two of you, this, you know. So it might be a sibling. Okay, that might be who we're talking about. The Six of Wands is in the position of what we don't want. We've been getting the Six of Wands very often for you, Aries, and I think what it means here, why it's in that position, is that you don't want to win, you know? That you don't, and that's why, again, I feel like it's a family thing, because you're not looking to defeat everybody, you know, and be the champion of this thing. You, I think, want everything to be, as we say, hunky-dory, right? You want everything Two of Cups. This is the outcome that we want, right? We want to get back to this kind of love, right? Peace and love. I think that's what we're after. Peace and love. But what we've got is a lot of this kind of this, whatever this thing is, with this tower moment. Okay? And I don't know. I don't want to call it a disaster. I don't want to call it a tragedy. You call it what you will, because you're the one that's going through this. Okay? This is an opportunity. This is something that you can make the most out of. This may be lemons, but you can make the lemonade. You can make the lemon meringue pie or whatever else you do with lemons. I don't know. Candy them or something. Put them in ice water. That's what I do with them. You can do that. And I think that this sibling energy, in general, it represents whoever the kind of opponent is. But you don't want it to be an opponent. You don't want to fight with this person or with this people, these people, this family thing, right? You don't want there to be a winner and a loser. So the Six of Wands is that card of victory. But I think that this is almost a card that says you don't want to fight, that you're in more of a Seven of Wands defensive position, right? That you're not the aggressor attacking anything, that you're just kind of defending yourself from what's kind of going on this way, what's coming at you, right? You're not just sitting there getting hit, that you're doing what you need to do, okay? Now, I don't think there's any kind of violence. That's not what I mean. It's a metaphor. I think that this is, I don't know, maybe it's financial because of the Princess of Pentacles. It could be something like that. That could be part of this Tower event, something financial, right? But I feel in terms of your energy, it's not a competitive kind of energy where you want to win, you want to defeat this thing, right? What you're looking for, I think, instead is some harmony. You want there to be peace and love. You want everything to be prosperous. You want everybody to thrive, okay? And that's part of our Six of Wands too. And I think that's the part that we need to kind of, maybe this is what we need to focus on. And that would be, that would be taking our Three of Cups and finding a counterpart. We have 3 and 3 and we get the 6, right? And the 6 really is about harmony, right? It's kind of, it's a card it's about victory, but it's a 6. It's about, kind of matching and meshing our energy. It's about the resonance that results from this kind of intimate bond of love, right? The Two of Cups is the glue that holds everything together. Still feels like an intensely family type of situation for me, okay? And Spirit's showing me a lot of refrigerator magnets. Who's the one with the refrigerator magnets? I think these details are just meant to be confirmations and validations, right? I don't know if there's a significance to the magnets, but it's something that I'm seeing. It's related to you in some way, and it's just meant as a validation of the energy that we're in, okay? If those details aren't for you, don't worry about that, all right? Leave them for the next person. But the Six of Wands is that harmony. And I think you've got a lot of love in your heart. You want this to be the absolute best experience. And I think that you're kind of hoping that the other counterpart to this, the other energy, if it's a person or your sibling or whatever, that they're going to kind of match you with that energy and together make this a real harmonious, successful thing. Okay, because a Three of Cups on one side to me shows your intention, that you're wanting this, not really a reconciliation, but you're wanting the harmony and the prosperity and the love and the thriving and everybody kind of rising up and building up. And you don't want to have to fight. You don't want it to be an opposition. You want a harmony. Yeah, a harmony. Let's look at the mystery card. I think maybe there will be some air energy here. Maybe we'll get a confirmation of something here. Okay, either about the nature of the particular calamity, whatever you want to call the Tower moment, or some sort of a confirmation about the information that you need to receive, or maybe confirmation about what this whole calamity is regarding, if it is something financial or otherwise. If you have a prediction for this card, put it down in the comments. I'm not going to predict this one. There's a couple things that I think it could be. I want it to be a 9 or a 10 of, let's say cups or pentacles, but I don't want to put that energy out there, because what if we get a 9 or a 10 of swords, right? Or a 9 or a 10 of wands even, I don't think would be too welcome right now. So I don't know. Maybe we need some more major arcana. Maybe we need the World. Yeah. Or the Empress. Well, let's just see what we have. We've got the moon. Yeah. It feels like we're trying to look for the light at the end of the tunnel here. We're really struggling to see how this is going to be the best thing possible, you know. We're trying to find the blessing that's being disguised as a nightmare. And what we're looking for in this card, I think, is that light, is that sunlight, is that hope, is that beacon of healing, you know. And right now it might be difficult to see, but it is there. It is in this card. It's illustrated more in the Thoth deck. In the Pamela Coleman Smith tarot, it's not so easy to spot, right? But it is suggested in this card that there is light at the end of that tunnel, right? That we have to endure, we have to continually, you know, kind of open our eyes to be on the lookout for that blessing. This is, I think, a blessing in disguise. I think that ultimately with our Two of Cups kind of outcome card, this is going to be something that's going to bring you closer together with something. There's a lot of love that is going to be established or reestablished through this calamity that you're in. Okay. Now, I want to make sure it's known that I'm not predicting any disaster. Okay. I don't predict things on this channel, and I don't think tarot does at all anyway. I think what we're doing is reading the energy as it is, and you've got this tower moment here underneath the surface. This is either something that you're already experiencing, or this is something that you know is happening at any moment now, right? Because this is here. This is already in you, this tower. And, you know, it could be that you're trying to prevent this tower moment from happening because maybe you feel that you're right at the edge of something, you know? And maybe this tower is kind of you letting some of this anger out. Maybe there's a lot of frustration that's been underneath the surface that's been built up. Maybe this is something simple as in you're holding on to these feelings of resentment or anger or frustration, but you don't want to talk about it because you can't see that it's going to do any good. Okay? That could be part of it, but the moon is saying that it's difficult to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but it is there. This is a blessing. Let's do one Metatron Oracle card. Okay, just one. I've really been enjoying these cards, and I tend to use them all the time now, and I don't want to overdo it. But they really are beautiful cards, and I really love the messages and the energies of them. What do we have? Creation, expansion in your life, the flower of life. Look at that. That's beautiful. Creation, expansion in your life, right? The creation, that's kind of, isn't that what the magician does, right? Creates the reality. It's our perception of reality. It's how we are choosing to use the situation as it, use everything in the basket to create the life we want, to create that final dish that we're going to show the judges, right? And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create abundance and bliss and happiness and love, right? Trying to create these peak moments of bliss and joy. And we're just wondering how out of this, how do we create love and beauty and joy out of this? Right? That's what we're trying to discover. So I think the creation card, expansion in your life, I think that's a really important card for you. And it is possible, and this is, like I said, this does feel like there's a blessing here. Okay? We got peace and love at the top there. That's kind of what we're focused on, and that's what we have to work toward. Now, we're going to do an extended reading, too. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There is one down below. New readings for Aries every Monday and Friday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free. It doesn't cost anything. And leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you, and we're all in this together.